Hello, everyone. Good day. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Solomon Izanga Shams, and welcome to Solomon's Temple. In Solomon's Temple, if this is your first time, this is the place where we get to look at different critical angle with a Christian mind, with a biblical mind, to issues that are around us, and also we get to introspect, we get to investigate, and we get to talk about what is biblical and what is not biblical so we can all learn together. So thank you so much for joining me right here. I hope you're doing very well wherever you are, and I hope the blessings of the Lord that make it rich and added not sorrow is with you. Sometimes we say the blessings of the Lord make it rich and added no sorrow, but we don't know that there are conditions to the blessings of God. I cannot continue to live a sinful life and expect the blessings of the Lord to make me rich and add no sorrow to me. So sometimes the best way to actually look at what's happening around us and understand our relationship with God is to introspect and say, okay, am I working in obedience? Am I working in obedience to God and to the things of God? Very, very important. So thank you so much for joining me. I had a great weekend. My wife is studying for an MBA, so she's graduating next year. So I took the kids, just to give her a break, I took the kids to the zoo. We saw quite a lot of animals: kangaroo, tigers, cheetahs, jaguars, and all that. So my kids really have fun. My wife was she needed that time to study. She's been studying all her life. She's like, look, hey, you know, she's a chartered accountant, the CA. So in South Africa, before you become a chartered accountant, you have to study for like 7 years. You get your degrees 4 years, and then you have to do your articles for like 3 years and all that kind of thing. But she's a brilliant woman, so all I can do as a husband is to support her, and because she supports me also. So thank you so much, guys. Nancy from Guyana, thank you all the way from Limpopo. Appreciate you. Thank you, Jane. Welcome, Jane. A from LA, Sophie. Thank you so much. Thank you for your inbox. I really appreciate it. FA. Yes, you're here live. Appreciate it. Thank you, Isaac. You're here. Julie, thank you. Hope you're doing well in Uganda, from the city of Lusaka in Zambia. Mwape as usual. And thank you so much, Sunny. And good to have you. Del, good morning from England. Good morning, Uncle So from England. Is it really a good morning in England after last night's game with Italy? I felt sorry for the English people, but then that's what sport is about. Sport is not about winning at all costs. It's all about learning to win, and also learning to lose, because life is also about learning to lose and learning to win, whether we like it or not. You don't just win in life in everything, right? So how about when you lose, when you wanted to win but you lose? How do you behave? What is going to be your countenance? How are you going to understand God in that perspective? And I think that's the beauty of sport. People who go into sport and say, look, we have to win at all costs, is really pathetic and sad, because that's not the whole idea around sports. Victor Daniels, my brother, thank you so much. Just Nigeria is in the house. Delicious Delicacy, thank you as usual. Another Zambian here, Sunshine, thank you, Sunshine. There's been quite a few people that came in much earlier. Pierre Vincent, all the way from Maiduguri. Wow. Now, if you know Maiduguri, if you know about Boko Haram, they're just around that area. They operate mainly around that area, so keep praying for people like Pierre Vincent and people in Maiduguri, for God's protection, and also for government's wisdom in dealing with issues. Emma from Namibia, thank you. Malebu from Cape Town, thank you so much. Also, Lorraine rather, from Guyana in South America. Thank you. People from everywhere. Chantel, you're here. Rose from Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much. Lucas from Sowe too. Thank you. All of you guys, all of you. There's quite a lot here. Yeah, one thing also I want to encourage everybody to do is to pray for South Africa. There's been quite a bit of since the former president Jacob Zuma went to prison. There's been quite a lot of protest, and protest is fine. You can protest all you want, but when you loot and when you steal or when you kill people, then it becomes a problem. So we need to be extremely careful around all this. So let's pray for the nation of South Africa. Let's pray for peace. Let's pray for wisdom for the leaders and people in communities to know that, look, you disagree with something or you have grievances, but you don't show your grievances by burning up, burning shopping centers and malls and looting public and private properties. That's very far from it. That's very, very far from it. So we need to keep keeping on. That's very important. Thank you, Fumane, all the way from Lesotho. You're back in Lesotho now, or you just went to visit? Joseph from Kenya, thank you so much. Yeah, Gray from England. He said, I'm so angry that the guy prophesied lies. Right. So that's what we're going to be looking at right now this morning, just quickly. We're going to look at the lying prophet. So some of you guys have seen the video and some of you haven't seen the video, but I need to talk about this guy, because this guy shows that, he has proved that he's a consistent liar as a prophet. He's prophet lying instead of prophesying. He's basically, this is not the first time that he's done that. Last year, the same guy had prophesied that Donald Trump was going to win the election. I know there were a lot of prophets who prophesied that Donald Trump was going to win the election. Only a few of them came out, and actually after Donald Trump didn't win, to say, look, we're sorry, I got that wrong and all that kind of stuff. But majority of them never really came out. And this morning my wife and I were reading 2 Samuel chapter 13, looking at David, how Nathan came to him after he had had an affair with Bathsheba, how he told him a story about this, two people that had lamb and all that kind of stuff, the story. And afterwards, Nathan told him, you are the man, you are the one who did this. And immediately he confessed and repented. They didn't argue, they didn't defend himself. And that's the disposition that we must have, not just as prophets, but even in our lives every single day. When I realize that I've sinned, when I realize that I've done wrong against God, my wife, my friends, my family, my parents, do I just embrace and humble myself and take responsibility? Or I try to look at words and excuses to exonerate me, to defend me, and to also acquit me? Is that what I'm going to be looking at? Or I'm just going to humble myself enough and submit my spirit, my life, and my inadequacies and imperfection to the grace of God? And a lot of prophets don't do that. And this prophet himself, he's been consistently lying. This is the prophet here we're talking about. He calls himself Prophet Dr. Emmanuel Badu Kobi. He's from Ghana. Now, I also have a problem when, you're writing your name and then you call yourself Prophet Doctor. Like, for real, right? Prophet Doctor. Are you a prophet or are you a doctor? What kind of a doctor are you? You're probably going to find out that this was an honorary degree that was given to him, actually, honorary doctorate degree that was given to him by a very dodgy, scandalous institution that probably don't exist. So when you see somebody calling himself prophet, doctor, putting all these titles, he's trying to show you that he needs the attention more than God. He needs you to pay attention to you. He's trying to tell you that he's trying to get your attention so he could defraud you. He's trying to tell you that this man is selfish. This man is trying to cover something using these titles. He's using the titles so you're not going to see that he's a selfish person. He's using all these titles so you're going to elevate him, right? He's using the title to elevate himself so you can be relegated. So he's going to be superior and you are inferior, just so that you would follow him for prophecies, you follow him for prayer, you follow him for all that. And this is what he said just when after TB Joshua passed away. He said he died young, but his impact is too great. That is the mark of Prophet TB Joshua. Excuse me. He died young. Do you know how many other people that actually died younger than TB Joshua because of TB Joshua's atrocities? Do you know how many people that TB Joshua has led to their death? Medically, he has led to their death. Spiritually, he's led to their death. So by virtue of the fact that this guy endorses TB Joshua, actually, that in itself disqualifies him as a prophet. Any prophet who endorses and supports TB Joshua is not a prophet of God. Because if they are a prophet of God, they would see that TB Joshua is actually not a prophet of God. So when you get men like this, people like this coming out and saying this, obviously, that was why he did all the football prediction and Donald Trump prediction, because he was trying to learn from TB Joshua. You could see that this man now, if after he endorsing TB Joshua, he's been following the life of TB Joshua and learning from him, learning all the tricks of the trade, learning all the lies, all the deceptions. Now, last night, I was up and I was watching the 2020 European Championship final game at the Wembley Stadium in England between the Three Lions, which is England, and the Azuris, which is Italy. Two great football nations. They did their best and push and got all the way to the final. And I believe both of them deserve to be in the final. Italy deserves to be in the final. For a long time, Italy has been struggling. And England, the last time they won any major trophy in football as a country was 55 years ago. So both of them were really wanting to win. And like I said, football is not about who wins and who loses. It's about sportsmanship. That's why we have to get out. There are people that if their football team loses for 3 days, for a week, they will be depressed. Come on. I love sports. I actually started as a journalist in sports. I traveled around the world covering sports, sporting events around the world. I was in Melbourne, the Commonwealth Games in Melbourne in 2006. I was in Delhi, India. I covered the Commonwealth Games there. I was at the World Championship, Athletics Championships in Finland. I was at the Olympic Games in Greece in 2004. I was at the Olympic Games in Beijing in China. I was in Japan at the World Athletics Championship. I was at the World Cup, the Olympic Games also in Brazil. So I know sport. But you have to see it from a perspective of sportsmanship, friendship, instead of you win, we lose. There is so much more to life than being depressed after your best team loses. I know. I used to be that way. But we have to grow out of it. So this man right here, Prophet Dr. Emmanuel Badu Kobi, prophesied. And I'm going to play for you the video of his prophecy, what he said regarding the game between England and Italy last night. So he said this yesterday morning in church. He gave a prediction, not just a prediction, he gave a prophecy, because he said this is based on the Spirit of God, and he's a prophet. Now, I'm not even going to talk a lot more about it. Let's watch, and then we discuss this.
Today, England will beat Italy. England never found my.
All right. Today, England will beat Italy. The final, remember, it was between England and Italy. Today, England will beat Italy, right? So when he said it will be Italy, it means England is going to win. England is going to lift the trophy, not Italy. Because he didn't. And let me just say this. You see a lot of false prophets, right? they will come out and make a prediction, and they don't give you details about the prediction. If you know the mind of God, if God revealed his mind to you concerning this football game, he will tell you precisely, today, England would beat Italy 2-1. England would beat Italy 3-0 or 1-0. But you're telling me England would beat Italy. For me, you've actually disqualified yourself as a prophet. If you are a prophet of God, except you are a sorcerer, except you are a false prophet. God is a God of detail. He would tell you England would beat Italy 3-0. Fine, I would know you're a prophet. Right.
Today, England will beat Italy.
England never fought match.
I'll say it again. That is the work of a prophet.
That is the work of a prophet, right? So he's not pompous about the whole thing. He's now working on the minds of the people so they would see that he is a prophet. Now he's telling people that you have to believe me, I'm a prophet. And they were busy shouting, yay, clapping their hands. So this is how they use events and situations to penetrate the minds of people. So people will keep endorsing them as prophets.
You keep saying what God is saying.
That is the work of the prophet, to say what God is saying. So basically, he just said, oh my God, that he is saying what God is saying. God is saying England will win against Italy. Ah.
You hear what I said? I said England. I'm saying it on YouTube, everywhere. England will win the cup.
England would win the cup. Can you see that? So he was even bold enough. He was even bold enough to keep emphasizing it over and over again. Now, this is really sad, right? This is really sad that this man will come all out and make such predictions that are guesswork, predictions that are seeking for attention for him and his wherever. If this prediction, if this guesswork had come right, he would be on the national newspaper and all over online, with people calling him a prophet of God. And that's what they do. And that's the same thing TB Joshua used to do too. They will look at events in the news and try to predict. They will look at events in the news and try to make predictions. That's what they do. They look at events in the news here and there and try to make predictions. Because they know people follow the news and they know people love sport, they know people love politics, so they will take it, and all they're trying to do is actually not to tell you what the result of that presidential election or the football game would be. All they're trying to do, they're using that to get attention to them. TB Joshua was a master in that. He used that a lot. That even if the prediction didn't come right, he now look for a way to defend it. Have you ever seen TB Joshua come out and say that, look, I'm sorry, that prophecy was not right? No, because you cannot say that. If you say that, then you're going to lose a lot of people following you. So they never said that. They never take admission. They never take responsibility for their lying. But they try to defend it. They look for a way to manipulate and they defend it. This guy will look for a way and defend it next Sunday. This same guy that you see, making all these false predictions. Now, this man, we all know yesterday, England lost. Italy won the trophy. England scored first in the 3rd minute. The Italians equalized in the 63rd minute through Bonucci. England scored through Luke Shaw, the Manchester United left back. They went into extra time, went into penalty kicks. Jadon, Sacco, and what's the name of the other forward from Manchester United? His name just skipped my mind now. 3 black players, they lost their penalty kicks. They actually, unfortunately, they're actually getting some racist attack now from people. Just because of football, because I lost a penalty kick. And then you begin to get racist on me. That's not what football is about. That's not what sports is about. It's actually showing that football is more important to you than loving your neighbor. That's what you're showing. It's unfortunate that, you know, people are beginning to attack them in a racial way. They are footballers. You think they went into the football pitch to go and lose? You think every game they go into, they want to lose? No, they do not want to lose. So for you to get all racist on them, anyway, let's leave that aside. So we know the Italians won the trophy, and this morning they arrived in Rome. It's coming Rome, is not coming home. They arrived in Rome with Roberto Mancini and Chiellini, all their players got in there, and the trophy was ready, showing the whole nation. Something of joy for them. Congratulations to Italy. But this same person lied. This same prophet had lied. A day before then, on Saturday, he predicted another football game, the Copa America football game between Argentina and Brazil. The guy is not tired, isn't it? He predicted that football game between Brazil. It was a final between Brazil and Argentina, between Neymar and Messi, and it was in Rio. It was in Rio. Let me show you something. I hope you're still there. This guy keeps making predictions, calling them prophecies, and the predictions are not even right. Wrong predictions, and he kept calling them prophecies. And now on Saturday, he made a wrong prediction. On Saturday, he made the wrong prediction that Brazil was going to win against Argentina and Messi. Now, Messi has never won any international trophy for Argentina. They got to the World Cup final in 2014. I was there in Brazil when Brazil hosted. Actually, the stadium where they played the final on Saturday, I was in that stadium as a journalist. I watched the game between Belgium and Russia. This is me in the stadium where Messi on Saturday lifted the Copa America. This is me in Rio, in Maracanã Stadium. This is where the stadium where Pelé made his name. This is like the Mecca of football in Brazil. I went to watch the game between Belgium and Russia. I remember that very well during the World Cup. That's why I told you there's a lot you don't know about me. I've been a journalist and for a long time, not just talking about false prophet or investigating false prophet. I've done sports, I've done politics. So this guy predicted that they're going to win, right? That Brazil is going to win, and Argentina is not going to win. Let's listen to him.
Now, for the match that will happen tonight, which is between Brazil and Argentina.
Okay.
England.
Sorry about that.
Now, for the match that will happen tonight, which is between Brazil and Argentina, Brazil will win.
Okay, so this was on Saturday, right? This was like 48 hours ago, right? Brazil will win.
Argentina will not win.
Argentina would not win. But at the end of it, Argentina won 1-0 through a goal from Di Maria, the winger from PSG, right? Brazil didn't even score a goal, but his prediction is Brazil was going to win, Argentina would lose.
Messi is part of Argentina. He's a great footballer, but the night is not for them.
Lie. Messi won, and Messi lifted the trophy as the captain of Argentina.
The cup is for Brazil.
Messi lifted the cup for Argentina. You are a liar.
And Brazil will win this cup.
Brazil didn't win the cup. Neymar lost. He was crying. Again, you are a liar, prophet.
That is what the Spirit of the Lord has revealed to me.
Prophet, that's not the Spirit of God. That is your mind. That is your lie. That is the spirit of Satan, the spirit of lying.
Brazil will win this cup.
Again, stop lying, prophet. Brazil didn't win the cup. 1-0 against Brazil. Do you lose 1-0 and leave the cup? No.
And so, that is what the Spirit of God has told me, and that's what
Stop it, prophet. That's not the Spirit of God. Stop it. Stop it. That's not the Spirit of God. Don't play with the Spirit of God because you want attention for yourself and people will think that you are a true prophet. No. Stop it.
delivering to all those who are following me, all those who want to know what will happen. Brazil will win this cup tonight.
Stop it. You couldn't even tell us what if Brazil was going to win. Tell us that were they going to win 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. That's why it's a lie, because you cannot even predict the scoreline. If you want to predict the game, who's going to win the game, you need to predict the scoreline for me. Stop it, prophet. Stop it.
So shall it be. And I'm saying this.
So shall it be. Stop using Christian language and all this Christianese and all that kind of stuff to say, so shall it be. Then what? Because he says, so shall it be, then it shall be. Liar.
Hours before the match is played.
So now he's trying to build his credibility, saying he's saying these hours before the match is building, before the match took place. Come on.
You get to know that the Spirit of God is truth.
That's not the Spirit of God. If the Spirit of God is truth, Brazil would have won. But your prediction is wrong. Your guesswork is wrong.
Reveals, and so it is. Brazil will win this cup.
And Brazil lost. Such a liar. You see, I don't know about you, but people like this is what God called in the book of Jeremiah. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 11, it says, both prophet and priest are godless. Even in my temple, I find their wickedness, declares the Lord. You can be a prophet and be godless. And this prophet is godless, just like TB Joshua. That's why you see some of you guys struggle to say, but TB Joshua, you know, he's done quite a lot of miracles, or he's done this and all that. But this is a scripture here. Jeremiah is saying it. Both prophet and priest are godless. You can be a man of God and godless and still godless. But you don't understand that you can be, this is it here. And this prophet here is godless. Because look at what it says afterwards. Even in my temple, I find their wickedness. This is wickedness. Lying to people is a high level of wickedness. Lying because you want attention. Lying because you want people to embrace you. Lying because you want to manipulate people to give. Lying because you want to get authority over people, influence over people. All that is wickedness. And this prophet is, definitely is. You know, you have to understand that this guy, people like TB Joshua and this guy, they predict like football games, and or they said they prophesy about football games or about politics, who's going to win, Donald Trump or who Muhammad, or who's going to win, or they predict about a certain musician and all that. They know that, you know, for a lot of people, football is like a religion. That's the most important part of their life. Sports is like a religion. It's most important than anything. Even people in church, even people that call themselves Christian, football is more important to them than God. Politics is more important to a lot of people. Why do you think people kill themselves, you know, around a football game, or they kill themselves around politics? Why? All right, guys, let me just leave you here. There are quite a lot of comments here. God of Abraham cannot give football information. I beg you. Thank you, Wisdom. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you here, but I'm going to be back in a little bit. I'm gonna talk about, you know, TB Joshua. You know, he was buried on was it on Friday, Saturday, and no credible Christian leader, no Christian leader was there, you know, at his funeral. Why? 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 That's going to be the big question. So thank you, guys. I'll see you again in a bit. Yeah, please keep praying for South Africa as a nation, and keep praying for your nation too. God bless you.